Jim Morris, President and CEO with Greater Indy Habitat for Humanity. Today, I am with Chris Purnell, and he's the Executive Director of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic.
Glad to be here.
And, Chris and I are going to share some things about a little bit about what you do, and then we're going to get into an event that we're co-hosting that we're extremely excited about.
Yeah. Very exciting, yeah.
So what is the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic? What do you guys do?
So the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic, we are a faith-based legal services provider. And so what we do is we help out people that can't afford access to a private attorney with things like immigration work, bankruptcy, tax disputes with the IRS, and more appropriate for what we're talking about with this big event coming up, eviction. So people that are facing being taken out of their homes for whatever reason.
Yeah, so the event that we're talking about, and the one we're really excited to co-host, is going to be February 28th. It's called the Hidden Housing Crisis. And we're going to be bringing in the author of the book Evicted. The author's Matthew Desmond.
That's right.
He's going to come and speak. And so we're co-hosting.
That's right.
Why are we doing this? Why are we hosting together?
Well, I think that it's really important to note that what Matt Desmond does in the book Evicted is he talks about how eviction is both a product of poverty, but it's also something that produces poverty, right? If a person is forced to pay a lot more for their rental rate than they can actually afford, then eventually that's going to result in eviction, right? And or if they get displaced over and over and over again, and if you're a kid, right, and you're trying to go to school, you're trying to do things right, but you keep having to switch school systems because your family keeps getting evicted, that's going to result in some generational poverty issues. And so I think what's unique about this partnership is for the clinic, we're usually on the back end, right? These are people that are about to be displaced again. They're about to go into a season of not knowing where they're going to be. And so what we try to do is we try to say, hey, can we come alongside of you, tenant, and see if there's any way we can keep you in that property? Whereas Habitat, you guys are working towards much longer term sustainability. So that way, they don't have to end up in court and possibly face an eviction on their record.
Indianapolis is second only to New York City in number of evictions, nearly 12,000
That's right. It's remarkable.
Evictions just in the city of Indianapolis. We were totally surprised.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's why it's hidden, right? Is because usually it's in communities that many people in our state and honestly in our country don't really think about, right? And also, it's one of those things that happens behind the scenes and it happens very quickly. So eviction in Indiana, it can happen as little as 3 to 4 weeks. Whereas if you have a foreclosure on a mortgage, that could take up to 2 years. And so it's one of those things where tenants can get churned through, and so you can end up at that 12,000 number. But I was as flabbergasted as you were. It's huge.
1 in 10 households in Indiana spend over half of their income just on housing.
That's right.
Which doesn't give you any kind of cash flow.
It doesn't.
To pay for the other things.
And again, that's like a producer of eviction, right? Because imagine if you're a person and your car breaks down and you're paying over half your income on monthly rent, you've got no margin.
Yeah.
And what that leads to is, well, you're making these impossible choices between, okay, do I pay for this car, which allows me to get to work? I have to do that in order to make my rent, but that means I can't pay the rent ultimately. So we're forcing people in marginalized communities to make these really impossible choices, and it's leading to an eviction crisis.
Why should somebody come to hear Matthew talk?
Beyond just seeing your face, I think
For a brief moment.
For the briefest of moments. I think Matt has done our country a great service in showing us just how dire this issue is, because it is really hidden, and it shouldn't be. And I think it's something that we need to be talking about, both as people who care about marginalized communities and want to see them thrive, but also what's it going to take for us to think more legislatively and more proactively about what do we need to do about our eviction laws that are on the books. So I think I want people to come in and just hear the stories, hear Matt's data, and walk away thinking, okay, what can I do now? We
really would love for you to come. And
please come.
There's definitely room. It's going to be at Newfields in the Toby, and will be available on February 28th from 6 to 8. You can get tickets by going to our website and at indyhabitat.org.
You can also go to the Neighborhood Christian Legal website at www.nclegalclinic.org.
So access those, definitely come, be a part of the conversation. We appreciate the ability to have Matthew here, and we really appreciate our partnership.
Pleasure's mine, Jim.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Good to see you.
Yep.